Hey folks, welcome back. So we are doing a roundup of gear because we're going to be starting a new chapter in this channel. If you haven't heard, so of course somebody remote starts their noisy vehicle while I'm trying to do this. I guess we're just going to keep going. So if you have not heard, my little Honda got stolen at work. Is what it is. I can't do anything about it. It's been almost 3 weeks and the insurance is supposedly getting me a check on Monday. And then, I have to work on Tuesday. The check will not have cleared. Try to do this without pulling money out. I'm low on my cash reserves. So in order to do it out of pocket and then get reimbursed, I would have to pull it out of investments and pay the taxes. So I'm waiting. That was a poor choice. I didn't realize how long they were going to be. If I had known how long it was going to take them and how much shenanigans would be involved, I would have just done this already or done financing and repaid it. Something because the Uber transportation for the past 3 weeks has been more expensive than what I would have paid in the taxes. Yeah. Anyway, we're doing a gear roundup because it's been almost 3 years. I've been using this gear for quite a while. I figure we should talk about what held up, what didn't hold up. So let's start with helmets. They're quick, they're easy. I've got the Shoei RFSR. And then I've got an Lycan Airform. For obvious reasons, I ride in the Shoei way more often than the Lycan. However, I cannot say the Lycan has a problem. The Lycan is a much cheaper helmet, always vented. There's no option, right? It's got grills on the side here where my beard is. And you can't close them. If you tape over them, you get fogging really badly. I do not have a pin lock on it. So it is what it is. It is my in-town helmet. I would say 2/3 of my rides that are not getting on the highway or don't need to record, basically, is the other situation. Or it's not really cold. So warmer weather. Great helmet. It is not as comfy as the Shoei. It is not as well built. The windscreen, I don't think, is as tough. So if you had a bird strike or something, I don't think it would hold up as well as the Shoei. But overall, I have no complaints. I think for the price point, that is a great helmet. It looks good, feels fine. The only problem I've had with it is the little pull tab for your D-ring. Yeah, that ripped off like a year and a half ago. It literally didn't make it a year of steady use. And by steady use, I mean I bought my Shoei pretty early on, right, with the Honda. It works. I can get the D-ring on and off on the helmet without any real issues. I did buy an aftermarket visor for the Shoei. Actually, that was provided for the review on Amazon. It was an Amazon Vine thing, so I didn't technically buy it, but it was not provided to me for a YouTube review. And I'm still using it. If I don't need a nighttime visor, so I'm riding to work in the morning and I'm coming back early afternoon, no complaints on the RFSR. Would I buy again? Not knowing what I know now, for me. And I think that for most people, there are better helmets. Not because there's anything wrong with the RFSR, but because it is at that point in its life cycle for years since designed, that there are better options. But if you like the look of the RFSR and you don't object to that price point, which is by far cheapest entry point, I think, to premium helmets, great helmet, which was kind of where I was at. I liked the look. I was looking for an upright riding helmet. I wasn't looking for something where I'm tucked down into a sport bike. It's done exactly what I wanted. I just think that I would take my experience now, and I don't know what I would get. That's the problem. I legitimately don't know what I would replace it with. An RF 1400, maybe? One of the adventure helmets where you get, a bigger windscreen. A bigger visor, more visibility. But on the other hand, this is South Texas. I'm wearing sunglasses and wishing for more shade half the time. So I don't know. What else we got? Boots. My SMX 1R vented. I can never remember the whole designation. Hiccup, sorry. Have been great. Those, 100% wonderful boots. I don't know why somebody would get the non-vented. I really got to say, if you aren't expecting to get splashed all the time, the vented are fine. I ride those vented below freezing even sometimes. If those boots went away, if I lost them, if I trashed them somehow, when they die, because they're wearing out. I wear them constantly. I would 100% be buying the next version if I was on the same kind of bike. We'll see what I get, right? I've got some ideas. I'm not going to spoil it, but depending on what I get, the bike, the footwear choice may change just to be more appropriate to the bike. We'll just have to see. You know, if I buy something sporty looking, certainly another set of those is high on the radar. If I buy something very classic and retro, maybe we go with something a little more classic and retro. I do have the Dainese Street Rockers. I have the waterproof ones. They are classic and retro. They also take like 5 minutes to put on. I'm not a fan of that. I love them for what they are. If you are okay with having to loosen up all the laces, wiggle your feet in, retighten all the laces, they're great. I've never gotten feet wet in them. They are warm. They are comfy to walk in for the most part. I mean, mine are barely broken in, right? That's how much I wear them. I've had them for 2 years. They're barely broken in. Good boots. I just like the easy in out of the AlpineStars. So if I find something else, that's a primary consideration. It's different for you recreational guys. You are getting ready for a recreational ride. You put on your gear, you go for your ride, you take off your gear. I'm going to the grocery store. Like, if I can make that grocery store trip take, less time, less hassle. My grocery store is a couple minutes away. I don't want to spend as much time putting my boots on as getting to the store. But I would like to wear the boots, right? I would like to be wearing the appropriate safety gear. But we'll see what I can do. Certainly, it's an option to just get another pair of them, regardless of the style of the bike. If I buy a cruiser, it's going to look dorky. If I buy a very retro bike, I'm going to look pretty dorky. If I buy like a dual sport, I'm going to look weird. But whatever, we'll figure it out. The SMX S, the first boots I bought, the ones I use for my course, I don't wear them often because, again, they're a pain to put on and off. And I don't have leggings. I don't have jeans. I don't have pants that work with them well. I did not think that through. You got to like fold over your jeans and tuck them in there and get it all just right, or it's annoying. It rubs, it pinches, pressure points. It's a pain in my ass. But jeans that go over those boots are awful baggy. That's relaxed fit taken to the extreme. We'll see. I kind of treat them as my reserve boots. I treat them as I'm going to go do something stupid. For example, when I do low speed drills, a lot of times I will wear those because if I'm going to go down at low speed, the bike is probably on top of me. Like, right, we just, and now you're laying there with a hot engine laying on your leg, or foot pegs or whatever. The extra protection is nice. I don't regret buying them. I want to say I paid $150 for them, and honestly, the peace of mind for the situations where I've used them, yeah, they're comfy. They do the job. They're not that hard to get in and out of if you were wearing the appropriate pants. It's the dealing with the jeans that makes them take a while. Where are we at? Let's go with jeans. We'll just keep going with what we're talking about. All of my jeans have been good. I'm still wearing every single pair. If you roll back through my videos, you know what I have. I've got some Reax 267s. I have Street and Steel Oaklands. I think that's Street and Steel, or is it Speed and Strength? Too many companies with similar names. I have the Oakland jeans. What else do I have? I have 2 pairs of REV'IT. The non-relaxed. Well, I only have the 2. One relaxed, one regular. REV'IT's idea of regular is, I don't know, it's not slim fit, but it's not loose. At least not in all, the whole jeans. But the other pairs, the Riding Culture, that are kind of a slim fit jean. They're, they call them straight cut. Us guys in our 40s and 50s are probably calling that a slim fit. but they are comfy, they are light, they are my best jeans for hot weather, so I'm back to wearing them more often. Whereas my Oaklands are my best winter jeans because they're lined, and the REV'ITs and the REV'ITs are in between. All of them are holding up. No issues whatsoever. What else we got? Gloves. Oh, somebody is moving in or out. A U-Haul. Seems like there's always people moving in and out of this place. I need some more cute single women to move in. Just saying. I guess I should go to the pool. It's a beautiful day. I could go to the pool and see if there's any cute single women in my age bracket. Probably not. They're all too young for me. They're all in their early 20s, and sorry, like you're nice to look at. Don't need the drama. Anyway, gloves. Gloves are very personal, right? Gloves and boots seem to be very personal. I have the SMX 1 Air V2s. Those are my primary warm weather, like it's hot out glove, right? Not a ton of protection, but if I go down in town or don't slide on them too much on the highway, they're decently built. They have held up way better than I expected. Way better. Way. I mean, I wore them for my class. I'm still wearing them. They get more use than all of my other gloves, right? Like they probably have gotten more use than all my other gloves combined, to put that into perspective. So they've gotten tons of use, have held up good. Would I buy another pair? I think the answer is I would probably buy the SMX 2 Airs, but I don't know. I would have to go try them on. It's just slightly more protection. That's it. Slightly more protection. I mean, dude, I will try the Daineses, but I have yet to find a pair of Daineses in store to try on. I don't need a pair right now, right? I don't need that glove. So I haven't ordered a pair knowing that I was going to send it back. Like I can't justify another pair of gloves yet. Other stuff, Cassini H2Os from REV'IT. Those are my wet weather and cold weather glove. These are remarkable. They get used every time it's cold enough to bother and it's wet. So basically from like November to March, kind of around here, and they look great. They still look practically new. I mean, it blows my mind. They've held up wonderfully. They are in great shape. They've been comfy. How much do I trust them if I go down hard? They don't have a whole lot of hard, like, reinforcement, right? They've got the knuckles, and that material that REV'IT uses is supposedly tough. Haven't tested it, have not done a whole lot of digging on people testing those gloves. It's better than nothing. I wear them in a situation where probably if I go down wearing them, it's a low friction environment. That's why I went down. I mean, it sounds silly, but I mean, it's true. So yeah, and they've got enough reinforcement on the palm that like that initial hit and slide, they're just as good as anything else I've got, with one exception, which we'll get to. And we'll go to that next. The REV'IT RSR 4s. Those were my solution when I decided that I wanted something better for the highway. I realized that I was doing a lot of my commutes on the highway, and let's face it, most of the year it's not 105. I could get away with a heavier glove on the highway. So I wanted something full cuff, long cuff, with hard slider on the palm, maybe a little wrist protection, better pinky protection, the whole deal, right? The RSR 4s absolutely nailed it. Now, there are a variety of options in this category. The reason I picked the RSR 4s is they fit the best, and they had a hard pad for the palm, not a like reinforced leather piece or a TPR. I wanted a hard slider because what I wanted was for it to slide. I didn't want it to hit and grab and drag. I wanted something like a race glove in that you hit and you slide. Reduces the shock, reduces the impact through your body. And I also wanted the price to be reasonable. I mean, there were a couple other options. Scorpion had some gloves that I liked. I tried them. I had to pick between the two pairs, and I picked the REV'ITs. I think I would have been pretty happy with either. The REV'ITs seemed to fit me just a hair better, so the other ones went back. The RSR 4s have been very comfy. They have been reliable. I have not gone down on any of them, obviously, but I've gotten stuck in the rain in those guys multiple times. No issues. They dry out fine. You're the first part of your next ride, they're still kind of like re-breaking in, I guess, and then they're fine. They are good down to like 50 degrees and up to 90s, I'd say. Anything over about 90, I really like the more vented gloves. But if I'm getting on the highway and going somewhere, I'm probably wearing them now. I would say this past year, I've probably worn them 3/4 of my commutes, other than when I was wearing the Cassinis, just because they're more protection. I still wear the SMX ones a lot. And then jackets. You've heard me rave about the Scorpion Exo Optima. If you've watched this channel, like, I would say every 6 months, I'm yapping about it. I love the jacket. I don't think it's so wonderfully made. I don't think it is so wonderfully stylish or anything. I think that it is this perfect blend of good enough in all the categories across the board, right? It's good enough, warm enough, it's rainproof enough, it's cheap enough, it's protective enough, right? Like, it does the job. From say 80 down to about freezing. Honestly, at about freezing, you probably want more protection. But if you've got some good wind protection on your bike, you can get away with it. And I mean, obviously, you've got to layer appropriately underneath. I'm not saying that I don't wear like a hoodie underneath or a couple extra layers, but remarkably versatile and keeps me dry, comfy. Protection is good. It's not, I mean, it's not a race jacket or anything, but no complaints. You know, it doesn't have like level 2 armor, it doesn't have chest protectors or an airbag or anything like that. But I think the new updated pricing is still only like $230 for a effectively 3.5 season, 4 season, depending on where you live, jacket. If you don't live in South Texas kind of heat, Florida, that kind of thing, it might be your 4-season jacket. Because you're not going to choose to ride in the days that are so cold that it's not appropriate. If you're a regular rider, you aren't choosing to go ride in the shitty cold weather, right? Like, most of the time you would not go. So, what else we got? My Eclipse from REV'IT. Very basic mesh jacket. This is not high end. This is a $200. God, yeah, I think it's still $200 for the new version. Basic mesh jacket, level 1 armor. The new one comes with more flexible soft armor. Threw a back protector in on both of them. I threw a back protector on both. Mine's held up. I've heard different people say different things about longevity. The problem I have with mine is that the Velcro on the cuffs, not good, not good. It just doesn't hold, and they cuff the wrong way. You know, if your hand's like this, you know, on the bike, the Velcro closes to the outside, so that it's being whipped at by all the air as you're riding instead of being pushed down. What are you doing, REV'IT? Like, I understand your reverse zipper because you're a European company and you mostly sell in Europe. I get it. The reverse zipper I can live with. Don't get the Velcro going the other way, going to the outside. Put that on the inside and come up with Velcro that holds better. The Velcro wrist cuffs, no bueno. On that note, though, the AlpineStars SMX 1 Airs, their Velcro is not holding so super great either. But it lasted longer, and it's a smaller piece, and it's less critical. Meanwhile, the jacket cuff is coming loose when I'm just riding down the road. Annoying. Very annoying. So, yeah. Most likely, I will not be buying another one of those. However, price point to longevity for me, I'm very happy with it. I don't feel like I didn't get my money's worth. In fact, I figure I got more than my money's worth by far. It is probably the jacket. Yeah, I would say I wear half the time. Between the two, it's probably a 50-50 split, even with the greater versatility of the Exo Optima, because it's lighter and I live in South Texas. It's that simple. There are more situations where it's 80 plus than there are below that. And I can throw on a base layer underneath and be warmer down into like the 60s. If I throw on a light hoodie underneath the the mesh jacket. We're good into the 60s. It's showing its age. The Velcro's dying. It doesn't come completely clean anymore. Yeah, it'd be nice to replace it. But a Marrakesh is like $500. Similar jackets from other companies are also $400 or $500. That wasn't such a big deal until I was, looking at a new bike and new equipment for it and new accessories, and like, it's amazing how much all this stuff adds up. It's not just the bike. That part, the insurance is covering it. Pretty much anything I'm buying, the insurance payment is going to cover it because of the insurance I had. Maybe I'm out a few bucks, right? My deductible and all that. But I'm not going with anything expensive. Different bag for it, new ram arm for my camera, clamp for the camera. If it's standard instead of metric, some tools, different cleaners if it's not the same. I could be very casual about cleaning my Honda because of the way it was built. If I've got something where I need like more fancy cleaners to clean it, yeah, that costs money. It all adds up, like that initial purchase. It's not the overtime. It's the initial, gee, I spent $300 in stuff. If I buy something used, does it need tires? Does it need battery? How are the brakes? Like all that stuff. It all adds up in that initial purchase, and we'll see. My current top choice, without telling you what it is probably going to need tires, headlight, and taillight because it's used and it's old enough that those are halogen. And the upgrade to LED is not hard. There are modern equivalents that I can fit, but yeah, I'm looking at $350 for the LEDs. Maybe a flasher unit for another $50. What else? Tires, obviously, whatever I can negotiate with a dealer, because the dealer will do them and they'll work with me on that as part of the price. But the battery, again, maybe another $150, maybe a little less, maybe, but like, does it need it right then? Like, am I having them put one in, or is it something I can do later? Is it something where I can shop around more, get a deal, or am I paying dealer pricing? So yeah, that is it. That is it. I have been extremely lucky, not gonna lie. I did a lot of research. I did a lot of thinking about it. But there's got to be a lot of luck, because basically every bit of gear that I bought for me to wear, not everything, but like everything I wore, no lemons. No, yeah, that was a stupid purchase. I didn't like it. Why did I keep this kind of things? There are things where I'm like, oh, I could have done without that. Like my SMX S boots. If I had started with the SMX 1s, 1Rs, I wouldn't have bought the SMX S. But I was thinking about it in terms of the thigh, calf protection, and that was what I wanted. I was thinking that I was going to buy something that made sense on, and learning, I figured I was going to go down. I wanted the protection on my leg. Didn't ever need it. Could have done without it. Can't predict that. And I don't regret the boots. So, yeah. Jackets, honestly, the one I was more questionable about was the Scorpion, and that's the one where I'm like, if I was going to pick one of these two, that's the one. Mesh jacket? Like, lots of options. Go buy a riding shirt, like, whatever. The Scorpion really knocked it out of the park for me. If I buy another bike where it looks appropriate, when I eventually replace it, I will probably just get another one. It was that good. I won't spend the extra money on a fancy climb, or REV'IT, or AlpineStars, or whatever. I will probably just buy a new Scorpion. Take care, have fun, stay safe, everybody. I will keep you updated on the drama of my new bike.